Hello there, I'm Darren.
And I'm Doogie.
And we're taking a look through the real sequels. The Star Wars series that happens after Episode 6 in the books and novels, and sometimes comics.
Yes, we'll be starting with the Thrawn trilogy, which is the first set of expanded universe novels that was released.
So today we're looking at Chapter 3 of Heir to the Empire. Dinner's on the cards, you could say. The Talon Karrdes. I think last...
Right. Cut!
I think last week we dropped off with the mention of the new boss of the smugglers after Jabba.
Yeah.
Talon Karrde.
Yeah.
So today we open up in Talon Karrde's house. Ish.
That's his base on Merkur.
Merkur.
Yeah. Yeah. The chapter opens up with Talon Karrde preparing dinner, and he's, pouring some space alcohol into
Space
glasses.
Salt Bay.
Yeah. Yes. And there's a knock on the door, and MARA JADE is there, and she comes in to his office, and she sees the dinner, and Talon Karrde is like, "Oh no, it's not what you think. It's it's like it's a business meeting." So.
And then he immediately tosses a bone. In the most unsubtle bit of metaphor you'd ever see.
Yeah, he immediately starts talking about how he thinks her talents are being wasted, and she needs to be... Basically, he wants to promote her to like a second in command of the whole organization. And she kind of talks about, I've only been here like 6 months. Why are you promoting me, kind of thing? And he says, well, you're an excellent employee, and I think your talents are being wasted. I think you have much more potential in this organization and all this kind of stuff. And, I forgot about his Vorsknir.
Yeah, that's where he tosses the bone to. Tosses the bone to the Vorsknir. The Vorsknir!
How do you pronounce that one?
I would say Vorsknir. Vorsknir?
Merkur and Vorsknir. I hate this planet.
I really hate that planet.
I really do. Like, it's...
So anyway, he throws his bone at the Vorsknir, and then bring. They get a call from...
You've forgotten already, haven't you?
Aves?
Yes.
No, this is the one that trips me up, actually. Aves?
Aves.
They get a call from Aves, who's like his second in command at the moment, or is he's just a scout, is he?
I don't think it really says. I don't think it's like clarified. Mm-hmm. He's just a member of Karrde's organization.
Mm-hmm. Secretary.
Yeah, I would assume some sort of like communications officer type person, because he's on like the scanner, so he's maybe just like maybe guard, scout, lookout, that kind of job.
Yeah,
would make sense, I suppose. But yeah, Aves calls up and interrupts the seductive dinner.
The bone throwing.
Yeah, the bone throwing and the Vorsknir. And says there's an Imperial Star Destroyer that's just like coming out of hyperspace around the planet near their base. And they couldn't, like, Aves was saying, or Aves says that they can't get like an ID for it, but one of the other guys who's with Aves seems to think that it's the Star Destroyer Chimera. And Aves starts saying about, should we try and evacuate or something? Should we prepare to bug out, kind of thing? And Talon Karrde, which I do think is like brilliant. I know I was just criticizing like naming, but like that's one of the few criticisms I have of this like book series. I think overall it's a fantastic novel and a fantastic trilogy of novels as well, because like Talon Karrde does something that you just would not expect. Someone like Jabba the Hutt, like you were saying earlier, like this person has basically replaced Jabba the Hutt in terms of like the criminal underworld like hierarchy. So what you expect immediately is for them to be like, Imperials, run away. But no, he's like, call them up. Let's be neighbourly. And so they hail the Star Destroyer, and Captain Pellaeon answers, and Karrde starts talking about, how's Thrawn? you know, all this kind of stuff, and Pellaeon's tight-lipped.
How'd the raid go?
Yeah, but literally, like, the raid at Abroa Sky is like, you know, what's the crack? And Pellaeon's being tight-lipped and like, I don't know
this.
Yeah.
Who's Thrawn?
Yeah.
Where am I? Shoots control. Like, boring conversation anyway.
Yeah. Captain Pellaeon puts on his best Joe Biden impression and
come on, man.
No, don't. It'll all the comments will be awful. So Talon is talking away to Pellaeon, and Pellaeon's being like tight-lipped and trying to, you know, not give anything away, and Talon Karrde is like, in his mind, while this is all this going on, he's thinking like, why are they at Merkur? Probably a couple of reasons. So basically he guesses and he says, are you here for the Ysalamari? And Pellaeon's like, not give anything away, even though Talon Karrde is just clearly knows like far too much, you know, much more than he should.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well about Pellaeon is, I remember like our first session we were talking about like the Empire lost the best and brightest on Vader's Star Destroyer and the Death Star. Pellaeon wasn't on that.
Hey Billy, hey Joey, come on in. There's plenty of room. Sorry, not you.
Admiral Pellaeon.
Why not? But you let in
Admiral Piet.
It says no.
Crap admirals.
We're allowed to have one.
Oh, I felt so left out.
I feel like Pellaeon is the captain, the Admiral Piet. Like, he's just there because he's the oldest. He's Shaun and Shaun of the Dead. He has red on him.
Yeah, like, you're not wrong. It is weird. Like, rereading this book was a little bit strange because later on, Pellaeon becomes such a badass, and so he does a lot of good things in the later Star Wars novels. But, like, in this, whenever you first read him, he does come across as a bit old-fashioned, a bit set in his ways, and kind of like, yeah, it's not like he's bad, but he's also not particularly good at his job, you know?
Yeah.
And it is kind of strange, but I also think that is quite nice and like character progression for him, because he's basically a side character. Like he's not a main character really, but he has a recurring role in recurring appearances in these later novels, and you get to see the man he becomes because of his time with Thrawn, and how he like matures into a genuinely great like leader and admiral, and his role in the Empire, like after decades of stuff that goes on.
Spoilers.
Well, well, like it's gonna take us like 3 decades to get there anyway, so whatever. But yeah, so Pellaeon is saying, well, eventually like admits that yes, we're here for the Ysalamari, because Talon Karrde is like, well, you know, I hope you know how to take them off the trees properly. If you do it wrong, they will die. And eventually it comes round to Talon Karrde offering, like, you know, I could send some experts over to help you out. And Pellaeon's saying, well, how much would this cost? And Talon's like, no, we wouldn't charge you anything. We're being neighbourly, as I said. And so Pellaeon's like, very well then, and then cuts the transmission. Talon goes back to talking with Mara. They're discussing like why would the Empire be needing Ysalamari? You know, it's a bit overkill for just one Jedi to come all this way to this planet just to get Ysalamari for one Jedi. And so they're kind of like throwing out ideas of like, well, maybe they found more Jedi. And the conversation kind of comes back round with Talon saying, now, I believe we were talking about your promotion. I think you had some ideas for this organization. And the chapter kind of ends there because Talon Karrde has noticed like every time Mara Jade talks about Luke Skywalker, she gets really angry for some reason, and he doesn't know why, but that's why he steers the conversation back to her like promotion, what they were talking about before, because once they start talking about the Empire getting Ysalamari to fight Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade starts getting quite annoyed and stuff. So Talon's like, yeah, I'm just gonna maneuver this conversation back to a safer topic. So, but yeah, it's a bit of a short chapter. You know, these first 3 chapters have been like setting up the 3 different factions. You've got the Empire in chapter 1, the New Republic in chapter 2, and now you've got the smuggler kind of underworld criminal organization in chapter 3.
Yeah, everyone's like highly competent. You've got the introduction of Mara Jade as something's going to happen between her and Luke Skywalker. It's Chekhov's gun. She is there. She is loaded. It's a good jumping off point for her, I think, for like the start of her arc. Awesome. And if you want to know what Ysalamari do, I suppose you could Google it, or you could join us next week.
And if that isn't a shameless plug, I don't know what is.
Please help me get out of my parents' basement.
At least your parents can afford a basement.
Parents' basement reveal at 1 million subscribers.
Yeah. But Darren, your parents don't have a basement. What are you gonna do?
Well, with my 1 million subscribers, I'm gonna fucking build one.